Welcome back to Badass One-on-One Offers. We are still in Module 1 where we're talking about how to create a service-based offer for your business. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about the different types of one-to-one offers so that you can start to get a sense of what kinds of offers might make sense for your business. And so the 4 types of offers that we're going to talk about are project-based services, advisory services, implementation services, and then hybrid services. So first, let's talk about project-based services. So in a project-based offer, the service provider produces a specific deliverable for the client. So common examples of this are web design, photography, copywriting. In all of these types of services, the service provider does the work. They often do the work in collaboration with the client, and then they hand that work over to the client, and then you're done. So project-based services really work best when you can simply hand the work off to the client when you're done. They don't need you to maintain or update or provide support for them to get the value out of the deliverable. They can simply take the work you have done, plug it into their life or in their business, and they don't need you until a new project comes up. So that's what project-based services are for. The next type of services that we're going to talk about are advisory services. So this is when the service provider isn't necessarily producing deliverables or work product per se, but what they're really doing is providing their expertise and their guidance. So the service provider in advisory services gives advice, expertise, or guidance, and they might also provide some resources to help the client as they implement the advice. So the most common example of this is coaching and consulting. So if you are a health coach or a business coach or another type of coach, you aren't doing the work for your client, but you're simply giving them your expertise and also possibly supporting them as they implement what you have said. Another example of this is there are a lot of companies these days that do contract CFO work where they will be a financial advisor to a business owner. This would also fall under the category of advisory services. And advisory services, like I alluded to before, they work best when the client they have to do the work themselves, but they might need additional expertise and support to be successful doing that work. So in my business, I help entrepreneurs with strategic and business planning because that's not really something that a business owner can effectively outsource. You can't outsource the strategic direction of your whole business to someone else. But business owners still need support and expertise with this side of their business. So as a coach, that's what I offer. So if you were an outsourced CFO who helps business owners manage their business finances, again, that's not something that a business owner can effectively just totally outsource to someone else. You can't outsource the financial management and the financial decisions of your business. But you can come alongside them and give them your expertise and your support as they manage their own business finances. Another example is health coaching, right? You can't do someone's workouts for them. You can't follow their nutrition plan for them. You can't adopt healthy habits for them. But your clients may need your expertise and support to know what to do and make sure that they're getting that work done. So this is really the place for advisory services. The next type of services that exist are implementation services. So in implementation services, the service provider works on behalf of the client on an ongoing basis, often on retainer. So think of things like social media managers, Facebook ad managers, online business managers. All of these kinds of businesses work as an extension of their client or their client's team, and they do it on an ongoing basis. It's not something that is changed often in the business. And implementation services really work best when the work itself requires ongoing effort and maintenance. It's not something you can effectively just do once and hand off, but you're going to need to maintain and to work on behalf of the client over a period of time to really get the result that the client is looking for. And then the last type of services we're going to talk about is hybrid services. And really what that means is kind of mixing and matching the 3 other types of services to make sense for what you're trying to do. So it's a mix between projects, advisory, and implementation to meet whatever need the client has. So depending on the type of business you have, you might do some upfront strategy and planning work and also provide ongoing implementation on the back end. Or you might do an upfront project And then also coach your client on the back end and how to implement the project that you've done. So depending on what kind of business you have, you might need to fit some of these puzzle pieces together to come up with a solution that really is effective for your clients. Which kind of begs the question. There's all these different types of services. You can mix and match them in any way that you want. How do you know what's the right approach? All of these have pros and cons. How do you know what direction you should go for your business? And the answer to that is that the ideal service provides the best possible solution to the problem that your client wants to solve. So it's not necessarily what you want to offer as the business owner. It's not about what sounds good or what sounds convenient to you. And it's not necessarily what your client wants you to do all the time, because sometimes your client may prefer to work with you on a project basis and have you do the work for them. But really what you need to do is be their coach, and they need to be the person responsible for doing the work. So it's not necessarily about what you prefer. It's not necessarily about what your client prefers. This is about you as the expert deciding what is the best way to create the best possible result for your client. So those are the types of services that you can create. Up next, we're going to talk about the 5 different elements of a one-to-one offer so that you can start to put together a service to sell in your own business. I'll see you in the next lesson.